Hi.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday morning. We are in Gameweek 35 Deadline stream. Thank you for joining FPL Jedi Show. My name is Hafiz, and
I'm
with me,
Azmin.
Azmin to the stream. How's your feeling today morning?
Okay. I'm refusing to get into the hype of trying to make transfers on the deadline minute in the last 10 minutes. So I just calm myself down and take it easy and try to remember all the things that we talked about before.
All right, man. Just quickly, we wrap up. Finally, we had a result. Brighton against Manchester United. Brighton did win at the last kick of the match, 1-0 against Manchester United. I think we've spoken before. The best result for you is actually Brighton 0-0 with Manchester United, but it's not meant to be. So, what's the final result of 8:34 for you?
It was okay. I was so frustrating because I was using FPL Gameweek to track, and I was actually up for the match because it was a holiday Thursday. I watched that Brighton Manchester United match. So it was so frustrating when Shaw decides to first get a yellow card and then concede a penalty. Before that, I would have, if the match had gone on the way it did, I would have actually been at 800,000 plus. So 100,000 extra spots with a Shaw and Lindelof clean sheet with as well as the bonus points. But that's FPL. It is what it is. So I'm still happy with my points with a bench boost. Or it wasn't a great bench boost, but it was acceptable. It was okay. So I'll take that.
All right, you are not at least inside 1 million. Okay, so 986,000, good for you. But for me, I end up with 105 points after minusing 4 points. And actually, my overall ranking has dropped. I think this the worst scenario that I can be is 26,000, just inside 27,000. And if I see from our live FPL, I'm actually off by 24, 25 points if I want to make into 10k. So is something that maybe 20 points, it seems like still a close gap, but with 4 weeks remaining, we need to punt a bit in terms of our week, because everyone gonna have so-called the template team. So we I think that's the way that I'm thinking right now. I'm not sure about you, Min. Even though people will mention to me, Hafiz, you're already there, you should be playing safe. But to me, I want to further move into the rank that I feel if possible inside the 10k. So I think let's do that thinking and jump straight to Gameweek 35 fixture. Main a quick look again. Gameweek 35 fixture. We are going to have our deadline at 8:30 p.m. Malaysian time. Okay, and there will be 3 matches starts together, which is Bournemouth versus Chelsea. We then have Man City versus Leeds United and Spurs versus Crystal Palace. And also, sorry, there's another match, Wolves versus Aston Villa. The most important team news that we definitely want to hear is Man City lineup against Leeds United. All right, I think that's the most important thing for this week. And then we will have a late midnight kickoff, Liverpool versus Brentford also tonight. And then on Sunday, we will have 2 matches, Newcastle and Arsenal, the big match. Second place against third place. Arsenal need to continue their form if they want to stand a chance of winning the league title over Man City to close the gap. But Newcastle at the same time are also formed to consolidate their place. I think merely Newcastle are already inside Champions League spot. I think so. But maybe they want to solidify more in terms of their third spot. Then we have West Ham versus Manchester United. Manchester United also did lose against Brighton, and they want to continue to solidify their 4th place because Liverpool are on the wings to have catching up with them. And then we have on Monday Fulham versus Leicester, and then Brighton versus Everton. Everton really desperate for points. They are on at 19th place with 29 points, and then we have 3 teams who are on 30 points, like Leeds United, Leicester, and also Forest. So those are the 3 teams are desperate for points this week. We have Leeds with the new manager in charge, but they are against the current reigning champion Man City. So that's going to be a tall order for Big Sam. We have Leicester away to Fulham, another interesting match. And then we have Forest, the last game, which is against Southampton, who are at the last place right now. Okay, and Forest really need to take advantage of this match. Maybe this is the one match that they are eyeing for the 3 points. So I think that concludes for the Gameweek 35 fixture. Main. Let's jump straight to the team news, of which we go first to Bournemouth versus Chelsea, the London derby match. What has been the manager saying?
So pretty much nothing much difference with Bournemouth and Chelsea. Of course, Tavernier, quite important play for Bournemouth, is still out. For Chelsea, again, also there's no real impact. So it really is a case of how Chelsea are going to play, what we're going to do. So we have no idea, and we don't want to have any idea because Chelsea are pretty much a total avoid for now. Sorry, Hafiz. And in fact, it's so much so that people are looking at Solanke and trying to bring him, seeing what we can do, because we've seen how bad Chelsea have been, and in terms of what we don't know, Bournemouth can return against Chelsea, and I think they can. I think definitely we can see some goals there. And Solanke, if you have no other space, I think he might be a decent pick, but I'm not sure how his fixtures are moving forward, because you don't want it to just be one. You want him to be available for the next, and The next is Crystal Palace, so not bad as well. So who knows? Yeah. So yeah, but total avoid for Chelsea.
All right, I think not much interest of those both team, but at least if you have Solanke, maybe this is an opportunity for you to play in this game.
Just so just a little mention about how I think Bournemouth and Chelsea are in the same points now.
Oh, okay.
Which gap that they were. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but yeah,
So they're fighting for 12th place, is it? Okay.
Yep. That's right. Could go higher.
All right. Okay, all right. Pretty much, if I see the predicted scoreline for this game, they expected Bournemouth to nick all the 3 points, but there are also some pundits that maybe there's be a 1-1 draw against Chelsea, but Chelsea are not in form right now, so I can see Bournemouth winning this game. So let's jump to the next game, which is, I think this is the big one, Man City versus Leeds. Really cool. We want to hear what Pep been saying in terms of the lineup for this week.
Right. So there's a lot of, I think pretty much our Twitter feed in the last couple of days have been chock full of speculations on how City will line up. And of course, the biggest problem is that they do face Real Madrid on Tuesday night. And we've got people like KDB who've been not benched, but they weren't fit. So a lot of talk on them, especially for those who have him. And of course, in terms of how City will line up, and the biggest reason why everyone, and the other big reason why everyone's looking at it, because Leeds have been so pants lately, and that's why City at home against Leeds sounds like an easy win, and that's why people want to go for it. Go for the City players. It's just trying to figure out who will start. Now there's of course speculation as whether Haaland might not start, because he has had consecutive starts. It hasn't, to be fair, it hasn't been a problem before, so I don't know if it's going to be a problem now. I do feel that I think we had a similar conversation a while back, and I did say that I think that he will still start, but his minutes will be managed. Yeah. So I think now we're looking at more the likes of Grealish. Whether Grealish will start, and if he doesn't, what do we do? But on the rare event that Haaland doesn't start, I guess the key thing is that captaincy issue, isn't it? Yeah, with the stick. So I've seen a lot of theories, and one decent idea is to stick the captaincy on Salah. So if you find out he is starting, then you switch it back because it's probably it's easier to do that. Yeah. Because at the same time you're going to see whether or not you want to transfer in a City player in as well, but it's a lot. There's a lot of things you just have to manage that if you're planning those City assets. Of course, the other problem is when you're looking at someone like Foden, you picking him for this week because whether or not he'll start the week after, we don't know, and there's nothing confirmed. So it is really a bit of a gamble, and we don't know what real team he'll put out against Real Madrid. Now on the Big Sam side, Big Sam coming in, do we really expect him to pull a fast one on City or stop City? I think most of the popular theory says no. Big Sam does have precedence of having been able to do that before, so maybe while he may not stop City from scoring, he could blunt them a bit. Yeah, in his first few, and the big manager bounce. But two things going. One is the new manager bounce. These are all the speculative or mysterious things. One is the big manager bounce. The other thing is the early match conundrum. So anyway, no, but we don't expect. I don't expect Big Sam to blunt City totally to the point of them not winning. So yeah, it's City all the way.
Just want to touch a bit. Azmin did mention about Big Sam. I actually watched his press conference, and so if you heard, Big Sam did declare himself in terms of knowledge. He is up there when talking about Pep, Klopp, and Arteta. So basically, that's one thing that he did mention, that he can be up there in terms of knowledge in football. In terms of Man City, I also had a chance to hear Pep Guardiola press, and he is optimistic that this is an important match. So that's one thing that when he's mentioning that most probably he will play the best 11 also. And his thinking is actually Leeds, not Real Madrid. Okay, and with that base, I can see if let's say KDB especially, this is what the question that the journalists are asking Pep. KDB is training and he's good. We'll see what's the condition, okay, after the last training. And then if he fit, he will play, as easy as that. But you know what can happen. But I believe Pep will try to field his best team, and Haaland could actually play in this game. I think that's what the impression is. Okay, and but I think the advantage that we have, man, is because it's the early match. So we hope we can get some early team news and decides.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out that the best team is also subject to interpretation. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because you know how Edison was benched last week against West Ham? Yeah, and then in the press conference he was mentioning about how he was asked about Edison and said, "Oh, Edison is ready, just like he was ready in the West Ham match." So as to whether he'll play, we'll see. It's like, is Edison? I don't know. That's a bit like what's going on there.
Yeah, I'm about to touch that. An interesting one for Edison owner. Pep can mention that it will put a worry to Edison owner and just ready your bench. Okay.
Oh, Pep! Here's Pep coming in at you.
Okay. I think let's go to the next game, which is Spurs versus Crystal Palace. Okay. We mentioned Spurs also, maybe they are still hunting in top 4, but it's going to be a tall order. So what's the latest news for both teams?
So Lloris ruled out for the season, and then you also Ryan Sessegnon is out for the season as well. So that's it. To be fair, Spurs have been not Spurs in total, but Fraser Foster. I think he's done a decent job. Even obviously there were matches where he could have done better, but in Lloris's absence, I think he's done okay. Other than that, Palace, nothing really. No real changes with Palace. Zaha, of course, who already returned, he's already back. Just that Tompkins, who's not a first starter anyway, he's out, and he's not likely to play. So for this one, this is a London derby as well. I feel that it could go anyway, but Spurs should win this one if they're not like a bicycle and play. Yeah, so Spurs at home, I think they owe a win for the fans.
Okay, all right, man. I think let's go to the next match. I think if you have Kane, I don't know. If you still have Kane, then I think you just hold him and see this game. Kane has been, in terms of stats, he has been good at home especially. Next game, man. Wolves versus Aston Villa. Some players are still stuck with Ollie Watkins. So what's the latest news?
Well, yeah, Semedo had that tackle thing, but he should be fine. So he's okay. Other than that, on Wolves side, no real changes. On Aston Villa side, interestingly enough, you got Matty Cash most likely being able to come back. No, obviously you got Bailey, Coutinho, Kamara, but Coutinho and Bailey have played before they got injured, so chances are they could come back in. But Villa haven't been doing too badly in their absence anyway. Matty Cash is probably the most likely to come in because of in Young, because Young is getting along in years. So I can see Matty Cash coming back. Other than that, I think it should stick with the same lineup. Unless they go for a more attacking one and bench Dendonker, which means that only if Bailey is fit then he'll come in and Buendia will be pushed to the back a bit.
Yep, I think Aston Villa had really good run until their recent loss against Manchester United last week. But they want to bounce back because they're still in European spot hunting. Yep. And I think if you have the likes of Watkins for sure you play. Even Mings and Alex Moreno, if you have him in your team, I think this is the match that maybe you can take a punt that Aston Villa can keep a clean sheet against Wolves.
Yes. Those of you who have Mings, obviously got unlucky last week. They lost to Manchester United 1-0. But, I think he's been doing well in the past few weeks as FPL wise. So continue to field him.
Definitely. All right. Next game, which is Liverpool versus Brentford. Man, your team, what has been Klopp been saying, because there are managers who are interested to know about Jota situation and others.
Yeah, so not so great news about Jota. So based on what he's been saying, pretty much not going to be able to start. He's not going to be ready for this. So which means this Klopp has a decision to make between Diaz and Nunes. Okay, so there are recent changes in terms of how Diaz has started two matches in a row now. So will he start this third one in a row? We're not sure, although a lot of people think he might not because he still needs to be managed. Gakpo, of course, who was benched last week, will definitely return to the starting lineup. So we had Salah, Nunes, and Diaz in the starting lineup midweek. So which one gets between Nunes and Diaz gets rested for Gakpo? So now, actually, the most recent scout lineup now has Nunes starting instead of Diaz. So Nunes playing up top rather than Gakpo playing up top. So it could go anyway. So it's a bit tricky, especially someone like myself who has Diaz. So, but if you want to go for a safe option, then go Gakpo. Gakpo will definitely start. Brentford, no real changes. Interestingly, Aja, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Aya is available, so he could displace Pinnock maybe. It depends because that's when they used to play the 4-4-2, and Aja would be partnering me in the center. So I don't know whether or not they'll make any changes there. Yeah, either way, fantasy wise, Tony will definitely start as usual, and I will bank on Tony to score against against Liverpool. So yeah, because he's good enough to score against them.
Yep. Liverpool on really a good run right now. 5 wins on the row.
Yes.
This could be a 6-1. They still hope they could make it top 4, but it's depend on Manchester United matches, right? So I think this a good match. If you're thinking about Haaland featuring or not featuring, I think Azmi did mention about a good strategy by captaining Salah. Maybe put your armband at Salah right now, and if we heard Haaland starting, it could easily change. I think that's the strategy.
Yeah. The thing about Brentford does have the XGC is still not great, and of course, as you mentioned, Liverpool are chasing. They're not gonna give up. They're just gonna push for Europe, and if there's off chance, we saw Manchester United slip up midweek, so Liverpool will be looking at that, thinking let's not worry about that and just keep winning our matches.
Yep. Agree, and put pressure. So let's go next match, the big one, Newcastle versus Arsenal. What has been Arteta and Eddie Howe been mentioning in their press?
Right, so it's pretty much going to be same old Newcastle in terms of the starting lineup, supposedly, but of course we don't know because we've seen how we start Isaac and Wilson before, and that probably won't be a commonly happening thing. So it's also, unfortunately, Newcastle Arsenal are not the early kickoff on Saturday, so we're not going to see that. So we know that a lot of people are looking at Newcastle because next week they double.
Yep.
Yeah, some already have a triple up already, but there's plenty who don't. So it's a case of, do you want to bring in a Newcastle player now or wait one more week for the next? Yeah. And part of it. Okay, so we know that ASM is back in training. So, but of course, given his history with injuries, I don't expect him to start yet. Given that Newcastle have been done well without him anyway. So the predicted lineup has Gordon in it. I'm not sure that will be the case. It depends. It could be Wilson. It could be, I can't remember who's the other guy. Never mind. I'll get back to that. So let's come back to Arsenal. So
Is
Arsenal.
it Almiron?
Almiron, that's right. Yes, Almiron. Yeah, exactly. So it could easily displace that, which makes it a bit tricky into picking them up. Gordon hasn't been doing well, actually. I mean, he's been solid, but he hasn't delivered in terms of FPL points. On the Arsenal side, yeah, of course, the big problem, of course, is that Saliba still out, and Gabriel in at the back is going to be a late call, so it's very important. I think it's quite key. If he's not around, I think Newcastle could have a field day, at least in the attacking sense.
Yep.
I have to, yeah. So if Arsenal are under immense pressure now, so it's really to see, and this is the battle of the top sides at the moment, Newcastle
Yep.
versus
Yep.
Arsenal.
Yep.
And if I was to make a punt, I'd say Newcastle are going to win this.
All right. We know that Martinelli was benched last week. What do you think? Will he be back?
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I think so. I don't think. I don't. To be fair, I don't think he deserved the benching. I think I think he should have played. So if anything, I think Jesus needs to be benched. Sorry to say. I think Arsenal will the flow is better with Trossard and Martinelli. We've seen that Trossard and Martinelli play. They quite flow. The flow is quite good. So of course, the other problem is in midfield with the Zaka will continue to be able to do this job now that the pressure is there on. Yeah, we've seen Zaka is one of those who can inadvertently get red carded under this kind of pressure. So it's going to be a high scoring match, I think. Except that we don't probably most of us have evacuated our Arsenal assets already.
All right. Okay, let's go to the next match, which is West Ham versus Manchester United. West Ham is in same position like Man City. They are still have European competition that they need to play. So, what's the latest news for both teams?
Yeah, it's a thing because they both have with Europe to play. West Ham still in it, so they need to juggle that. I think they're still looking to do well in Europe, and because the nice thing about right now where the relegation side is, they pulled a bit clear, but they still in the mix. Yeah, so how they approach this matchup is anything because they maybe there are some more winnable matchups for them. In terms of injuries, yeah, Zuma, which for me is a big one, remain out. So that's where the predicted lineup seems to be a bit odd because the predicted lineup has Zuma in it. Hang on. Check. Yeah, so it should be Agut and Ogbonna instead. The rest is fine because Rice Susek are back. So Agut and Ogbonna should start at the back there, assuming no other issues. We know that for Manchester United, it's same old. There were no. What to say? Nothing happened in terms of the injury side against Brighton. It's just injured egos, I guess. Other than that, it's fine for Manchester United. It should be the same, which means that Rashford will. The difference there. I mean, that one has Rashford up top, but I think Martial is fine as well, so it could easily be Martial there.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, pretty much a settled lineup for Manchester United. I guess nobody coming back. Varane, Martinez might be out for the season. Maguire maybe not so fit. So Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, Lindelof, and Shaw should be actually the back four.
Yeah.
And
So
pretty much side.
Yeah, because one of the problems, of course, we having Shaw play as a centre back is quite frustrating. I think he's although he is, we saw against Brighton, he was getting a lot of baps in terms of interceptions, blocks. Yeah, but we want his attacking returns as well, though. So it's frustrating, but it is what it is.
Let's go next match, man. Fulham versus Leicester. Leicester really wants point, but they're playing away to Fulham. So what's latest news?
Yeah, Fulham are the side that you thought were on the beach, only for them to pull a surprise, and they are safe at the moment. They're on 45. The frustrating thing is we got Pereira and Ream, who have been ever present for Fulham. They are out. for the rest of the season. But Mitrovic, big news is that he will be back next week. So this is the last game. So after that, he has 3 games to play. On the Leicester side, we have Pereira and Evans are going to be back. So it's a case of how it's going to shuffle at top. So if you look at that front three, that looks like the front three, the classic Brendan Rodgers front three from prior years with Vardy and Madison and Bar supporting him. But Nacho could be back, but I don't think he'll be. I think they're going to have to rely on Vardy for this one.
Okay. Next is Brighton versus Everton, man. So Brighton had pulled it off 1-0 win against Manchester, and they are pretty much on form. But Everton also needs points because they are really in bottom 2 right now. So what's the latest news for both teams?
Wow, I mean it's very, very scary for Everton. They're coming up against a sky high Brighton at the moment. So Dyke will be hoping to take advantage of some overconfidence, maybe. So with Brighton, the fact that they won against Manchester United and without starting March. Yeah, March only came in as a sub, and it was enough to get them to win. I'm not sure how the tactics were. Was it to stifle Manchester United? But they did. There's an issue with Gross, but we'll see what happens there. Ferguson might be available, and if you look at that starting lineup, predicted starting lineup, it's got Undav in it. I mean, there were those we saw Welbeck had been doing well, but not sure how they. So it feels like Welbeck has started too many matches in a row now, so he might be given a breather. But Ferguson looks like he's almost there. It's hard to predict that lineup, to be honest. So I'm not even going to try. On the Everton side, obviously we're not picking anyone from Everton right now, but Calvert-Lewin will be expected to try to get the points for Brighton. So those are for Everton. Good luck to those who have Steele. You could see a lot of saves here as Everton try desperately to shoot everything they can. So there'll be some nice bonus points for Steele, hopefully, if he can save.
I think this is a winnable match on paper for Brighton, and if you have 3 Brighton assets, regardless whether Steele, Estepunan, some might have McAllister, March, we don't know. Definitely you just play all 3. Nothing to rethink about this. Okay, I think last game for Gameweek 35, which is Forest versus Southampton. This is a 6-pointer game, man. Southampton at the bottom of the league, and Forest are just 18th place. So they need this win. So what's the latest news?
Yeah, so on the half side, you got Newcastle versus Arsenal battle at the top. And at the bottom side, you got Forest versus Southampton. And so there's doubts on whether Johnson would be available, but Danilo looks like he's definitely out. So they do need Johnson. He's been really important for them in their match for survival. And of course, they're playing at home. Southampton, of course, who are currently at the bottom. I just want to check how much points difference. They're 5 points away from Everton right now. So even if they win this, they're still under the cosh. So pretty much every game is a must-win for them. And unfortunately, I do see Forest having enough quality to take out Southampton here. Southampton seem to be able to have this ability to surprise. I think they did draw against Arsenal the other day, but against a relegation battler like Forest, I think Forest will come off with it. They have got the better management as well to get the win for this.
Yeah. I think I like Forest. They are at home. They are a different animal. Yeah, I expect 3 points for Forest and Cooper team. Okay, man. I think we covered all the team news. Let's go the top transfer for Gameweek 35. As you may see, okay, the most transfer in for this week, I actually snapshot it just before we go live, is Callum Wilson with 225,000 new owners. has actually get his service. I think this is also aligned with recent Wilson getting uh, goals. I think 12 points last time around, even though his minutes are being still suspect. Okay, but Wilson can actually be explosive. And Game Week 36 is just around the corner. Okay, and then we have Estupinan. Okay, also 195,000 managers has brought him in just because last week Brighton did um, got back-to-back clean sheet. Yeah, and Estupinan scored like 15 points. Okay, then we have Rashford continue to get a new honors, 169,000. No surprise there. Odegaard is a surprise one. I'm not sure because he actually scored 2 goals against Chelsea and 143,000 managers has think that they need to bring in the Norwegian midfielder. And then we have Stones there, top 5 in terms of transfer in for Game Week 35. For top transfer out, KDB. Okay, no surprise. He actually did not feature in the last 2 games in Game Week 34. 188,000 has brought him out. But based on the recent news, there is chance KDB to start. So I think I'm not sure about this move. Tony, I think maybe because to get in the Callum Wilson, the Isaacs, the likes of Isaacs, I think maybe Tony has been the sacrificial lamb to go out top 2. 150,000 has did that. Andreas will be out for the rest of the season. Azmin did mention that. 145,000 has did that. Saka also. Arsenal are not going to double anytime soon. 143,000 managers. And Watkins. I think Watkins and Tony is the same situation to actually make the room for the Newcastle strikers position. So what do you make of the top transfer, man? Are you surprised with Wilson, the most transfer in?
I'm surprised by so Wilson's not really a surprise given his form, but of course there's always doubts about how much game time he has. But it seems that when he gets the game time, he's maximizes it. So yeah, no problems there. Odegaard's a surprise. I feel that's a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. Of course, Odegaard as the captain is going to try to drag his team through and fight all the way. But given the matches that Arsenal have, it just feels like it's a bit too much. Tackling Stones and KDB movements, it just feels like I guess maybe because they are the early match, so you think you want to get some as much news as possible before you, especially transferring out KDB. I think maybe there's a lot of popular opinion that he's not going to play this week because they want to save him for the Real Madrid. So maybe that's the thinking that they're going. Andreas, no surprises. In fact, that's I'm looking at my Andreas now and wondering whether I'm going to have it. Watkins being sold is a surprise. Are they trying to, unless they're looking to make way for the likes of Wilson? Because Watkins has been solid, even though although he didn't score against Manchester United, but he's been solid enough to, not to be sold. So yeah.
Yep. So these are the top transfer in and out. Okay, for managers to just ponder whether these are the move that you're going to make. All right.
Just to point out, it's out of the top 5, but number 6 and number 7 is Salah and Alexander Arnold. Transfers in.
All right. Okay. Maybe they can actually by the end of the week they could be in the top 5. All right. Just before we go to our team, just quickly look at the fixture ticker. Only 4 games left or 4 game weeks left to the season. This is really time to focus or aggressive. You can call it, or take calm of your nerve, plan properly. I think you only left with 4 transfer to get in players for this week. So in terms of fixture ticker, Brighton is up there, no doubt, because they have back-to-back double game week in 36 and 37. We already run through in our midweek stream. But in terms of recovery, also something that we need to look at in terms of Brighton, especially when coming to 37. They have really short recovery period. Okay, then we have Manchester United and Man City in the top 3 bracket of fixture ticker. Manchester and City Manchester United and City will double in 37. Okay, Chelsea also make up that top 4 because they double, but they double really tough one, both away to City and Manchester United. Liverpool in that bracket top 5, and Newcastle after that. Newcastle have Gameweek 36 double, they are up there. In terms of the bottom 3, Villa, Leeds and Brentford. Okay, Leeds have Liverpool, Spurs and Man City in the last 4 game weeks. Leeds also, like Sam Allardyce did mention, they have daunting tasks. They have Man City, Newcastle and Spurs in their fixture list, and Villa, they're playing Spurs, Liverpool and Brighton. So man, clearly Brighton, Manchester United, City are the teams to target.
Yeah, so you're looking at Brighton, Manchester United, Manchester City, and Newcastle as having the 5 matches. Let's just skip Chelsea. Um, but at the same time, you're also trying to see, even though they don't have any doubles, like those who are really chasing, for example, like Liverpool. So you probably, maybe you won't be bringing in new players, but you'll be reluctant to sell those players. So you got Liverpool, Arsenal. Still trying to chase for fight for something. So you avoid that. Avoid selling them if you already have them. And in a way, it goes to the same for those at the relegation battling mode. Having said that, your Leeds, who are Everton, are one of them. They got really dire fixtures coming forward. So even if they're fighting or something, it doesn't look like they're going to get much. So you stay away from them. Southampton look like they have some, Forest and Fulham could be, but after that is Brighton and Liverpool. So it doesn't look good either. So yeah, still target for those top teams and those teams that have something to fight for, mostly chasing Europe.
Right, man. Let's go to our team. You go to your team first. This is your team on paper, but what is in your mind right now?
All right. So at the moment, my biggest issue I have is obviously Andreas is out for the season, so he will most likely be bench for probably Trippier. Then I've got Isaac Buonanotte, who surprisingly started in midweek against Manchester United. I don't expect him to start either, so he will be moving down for Isaac. So you got that, and so the question is, I'm not uncomfortable with Darwin, and as of now, I'm not. So I will most likely sell Darwin out, and I've been looking at options, some crazy options from Martial to Welbeck. I looked at Martial only to realize I actually, crazily enough, already have 3 Manchester United players in there.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised. Then you have Welbeck. But if I wanted Welbeck, of course, because I need to probably most likely sell Buonanotte. And I don't think he's been nice to have, but he's not going to keep his start with everyone coming back. So that's where I am right now, and players I'm looking at is Gakpo, Welbeck, depending, but even Welbeck I'm not so sure because Ferguson looks like he's already a dampening, and plus the fact that Welbeck has been starting a fair bit, and Undav himself might come on as we saw in the lineups earlier, predicted lineups. I can tell you that I'm not looking to transfer in a Manchester City player for this week. I just feel that I don't think it's worth my heart and stress levels. I feel like there's enough to be had elsewhere. So the other thing is in terms of the captaincy. So to be fair, I originally I was really just gonna plant it on Salah and be done with it. But I took a look at the most XGC conceded in the past few weeks, and West Ham seems to be up there, which is why I put my captaincy on Rashford at the moment. I feel that, coupled with the fact that they're looking to bounce off that surprising Brighton loss, I feel that Rashford could do that, and plus West Ham are also distracted by Europe a bit. So yeah, that's my thoughts at the moment.
All right. I'm going to go suggest you this because you've been thinking about taking out Darwin, and I don't want to overthink. We can see the most traffic in right now is Callum Wilson. And
Yes.
then Newcastle gonna double next week anyway. So why not go in first? Because this week nobody gonna make not go like filled up double striker against Arsenal, who might actually lose Gabriel in defense. So maybe Callum Wilson go in replace Darwin. You have double attack in terms of Newcastle, and then you can have fun for next week and improve your team in terms of bringing other player. Maybe.
So for that one, I'll need to decide as to whether or not. The thing is, even if one doesn't start, they will definitely come on based on our statistics. Yeah, so it's a case of whether or not I feel they will get enough out of Arsenal. But there's a lot of factors to say that they will, and I think when we were talking about it earlier, I said they will. But I need to have some confidence enough to feel too. So let's see how we go.
So we still have plenty of times. The deadline will be a late one, but yeah, hopefully don't overthink on it. Let's go to my team. All right. My team is like this. My first thought is to roll a transfer, but I just read out my team. I have Kepa in goal over Raya. Okay, maybe people don't agree. But I feel if I'm gonna feel Salah and TA against Brentford, I just play along and just play my Kepa. Maybe for the last time, I don't know. Away to Bournemouth, anything can happen. When FPL is a funny thing. When you least expect it, right? When you expect that a team going to be crash or concede so much, they kind of can make save point. Maybe lucky we can get a clean sheet. You just never know. So I just put Kepa for now. Right, in defense, there's no changes. I will play TA, Trippier, and Estepinan. All three are playing at home. In midfield, I will play 5 midfield: Mitoma, Grealish, Rashford, Salah, and Solimatch. I have Alvarez in for now. Up front, partnering with Haaland, and Haaland captain. I'm going to have my armband right now, captain armband. I have Tony on bench, Botman and Henry. Okay, I just run through some scenario if let's say we have a team lead, okay, in terms of Man City. Okay, most probably there is probability that Grealish are not going to feature. That's probably okay. If that's the case, Alvarez and Haaland starts, then I think an easy move. I just bring in Tony in and Grealish bench. Yes. But if there is potentially Haaland are not starting, Grealish are not starting either. So then Tony and Botman might need to come in. Right? And if that's the case, Alvarez also starts. Maybe I can captain Alvarez against Leeds United at home. But the worst scenario, if I don't know, 3 of them might not play, man. I don't know. If that's the scenario, Grealish, Alvarez, and Haaland are not starting, then Tony, Botman, and Henry coming in. Henry I actually can change to a Manchester United defender, like you mentioned, Lindelof or even Dalot. And they have 37 double anyway, so that can be something, a wise move if this news coming in. So, what do you think?
Okay, so you have one free transfer or two free transfers?
One transfer only.
One transfer only. Yeah. I think you already have a ready-made place in Tony there, so you can put him in. So that's fine. Yeah, in terms of if you find out Grealish doesn't start, then Tony just comes in. It's easy. In fact, your team looks easy enough. The only thing I'm going to advise is Raya for Kepa. It's just that Raya historically has had a lot of saves even against the bigger teams, and Brentford are the team to let a lot of shots. Kepa does well when he keeps clean sheets and he's quite solid then, but if he doesn't, then he's quite bad. I mean, that's my view. Yep. Other than that, all good.
Yep. Let me think about it. Okay, I will find some stats definitely, and then run through some maybe in community they post some really good articles on this. We shall see. Right, man. I think that's all for this stream. The deadline, would like to remind again, will be at 8:50 p.m. Malaysian time. And then please finalize your team. Whoever watching right now, we appreciate for you to hit the like button and subscribe to our FPL Jedi YouTube channel, and you will receive early notification when it will be alive. So, Min, your last word.
All the best, and don't be careful. At what 7 o'clock later, at 8 o'clock onwards tonight. So yeah, all the best, and be calm, and don't overthink it, and don't wait till too late.
Yep, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stay late because I want the Man City news, Min. So help me out, Min. I think you'll definitely scrouching more news on this. Please update me
Yep.
so then. Can. So until then, thank you all for joining, and hopefully, good luck to you all. Okay, may the force be with you. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.